Hey everyone, this is Scott from the Forgot to Grow podcast. Welcome to our Polar movie review. Polar is one of the newest Netflix originals to be added to Netflix, and I checked it out the other day, and now I'm just going to be doing my review. So this movie is about the world's top assassin, Duncan Vizsla, is settling into retirement when his former employer marks him as a liability to the firm. Against his will, he finds himself back in the game, going head-to-head with an army of younger killers. If that little description doesn't get you into this, I don't know really what will, because maybe the trailer. But this movie I really enjoyed. I kind of went into this movie pretty blind, having only seen a couple flashes of the trailer on Netflix itself when it shows you those previews. But I was pretty intrigued. I love Mads Mikkelsen as an actor, so I was really interested to see him as this, retired assassin having to, keep himself alive and take out his former employer who was trying to kill him. And I freaking just love that. It's got a little bit of a John Wick kind of flavor to it, in the sense that it's, this retired, world's best assassin coming back into it. But this is also based off of graphic novels that I believe came out before John Wick, so it's not really a ripoff. But the fact that it's based on the graphic novels, the other reason that got me to watch this, and I'm really, really happy I did, because I really, really enjoyed this movie. It was, if you like John Wick, you'll like this movie, in my opinion at least. You get this old assassin, or retired assassin, having to kill a bunch of young assassins trying to come kill him, and I just love that. I love an experience. I love a retired any dude having to come back against his will because nobody wants to let him be retired, like Red. I love that theme. I love that kind of story, and this one was great. Mads Mikkelsen, the quiet killer, and it just, he's just trying to live his life in his quiet town, in his cabin. He just wants to enjoy his retirement and the $8 million that his employer owes him as his retirement bonus, and his employer doesn't want to pay that out, so he has to kill it. He has to kill him, and so the whole movie is about that whole thing. And it was just so enjoyable. I like the premise behind it. I thought, if you're an assassin who worked for this big assassin business, like a corporation in a sense, you would probably have a retirement plan, and they definitely would not want to pay out of that retirement plan at all. So the premise to this story just really, really worked for me, even though it gets ridiculous at a couple points. This guy gets beaten up a few times and still keeps going. So I just really enjoyed this movie overall. I forgot to bring my notes out for this movie before. There they are. But yeah, so it starts off with it 14 days before his official retirement date at the age of 50, and so that's what the movie kind of plays out, is those 14 days before he gets the payout, before his former employer owes him this $8 million for his retirement payout, which, just like I said, that premise to it is just alone really caught me in, and I just enjoyed it a lot. What else I've written down? At one point at the beginning, he starts off with a dog, and there was only a few minutes into it, but he has a dog, and you're just like, oh, this is very John Wick. But then something happens to the dog that's very not John Wick, that you're just like, oh, okay, yeah, this is definitely its own thing. It's not trying to copy John Wick. And I think the dog was potentially a little bit of a, wink and a nod to that, potentially, or maybe it's just from the comic, and it was their way, or from the graphic novel, I should say, and it was their way of bringing it to light, being like, hey, this was in this before then. But who knows? I just thought that was a cool little thing they threw in. What else have I written down? Like I said, this is like a John Wick kind of action story. Like I said, retired guy comes back, has to defend himself. But this one is a little different in that people aren't coming for him necessarily as much as that he's going, they're coming after him in this one, whereas in John Wick, he's more going after the people. So that's where you get a little bit of the difference. And, there was a twist at the end with a certain secondary character that I did not see coming, and it made sense. I probably should have seen it coming, because, it makes sense when you get to that point at the end. I try not to spoil it, but there is this kind of interesting little twist that has nothing to do with the employer, but has something to do with a secondary character in this movie, and I just really enjoyed that. And then it ends off in a way that it looks like there might be a sequel, there might not. I could see it going either way. I wouldn't be up for there being a sequel potentially, but if there wasn't, I wouldn't be that disappointed, because I thought they did a great job of kind of doing a whole, beginning, middle, end of a story in this one. But overall, like I said, I really, really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was great. Like I said, I would recommend this to anybody who liked the movie John Wick. You will more than likely like this movie just as much, if not more. And so yeah, and if you're just a general fan of action movies, it's a good action film. If you don't like action films or John Wick, this might not be for you. But then again, I don't know why you watched a review for a movie that was called Polar that's about the world's top assassin who just retired. But anyways, that's my review for the movie Polar. If you've seen it, be sure to let me know in the comments below what you thought of this. Or if you've read the graphic novel, be sure to let me know what you thought of the graphic novel. But thanks again for joining me today, and have a good one.